What's up everybody, Arrg the Pirate here, and today I'm gonna play a little Wukong in the solo lane. As always, let's go over the deck. Now I have Auto Health Potion, Fast Travel, Lifesteal, Piercing Basic, Critical Hits, and lastly Healing Towers for my gems. Now for my cards, I have Demolitionist, Exoskeleton, Flame of Zechin, Nitroboost, Growth Totem, Overclocked Droid, Pressure Hunter, Swift Hunter, Heavy Hitter, Trapper, and lastly Shatter Golem. Now, since version 42 came out, I have not played a whole lot of Wukong, and to be quite honest, I haven't played a whole lot of off-lane or now solo lane ADCs, and, you know, they still are very viable, but I really feel those kind of tankier or more, you know, just more frontline fighter type heroes really feel a lot stronger in that solo lane, although having a second ADC once you get fed is critical, and making sure your team comp is, you know, well and, you know, kind of supports that idea is huge. And I did get a very early pick. I believe I was second pick in this, and we actually have just an incredibly squishy team. We have Wraith support and a Kalari jungle, so you know, this is definitely not the most ideal team comp, but the enemy team really has a very similar team comp with the exception of Narbash. And, you know, I kind of feel, guys, Narbash has really fallen off since everybody has a stun now. You almost never get a Narbash ultimate off, and especially with that movement speed, you know, it's very easy to get out of that Narbash ultimate. So, you know, we have both pretty squishy team comps, and you know, what better way to play against a Wukong and kind of see the difference when facing off against one. So definitely decided to upload this one. Now I have played 3 matches with Wukong, and I found a little bit of success in the earlier 2 matches. Well, one of them was just terrible. In the second match, I was building straight into Trapper at the beginning, and I've really found that going for Shatter Golem early on is huge, because it not only gives you lifesteal, but Shatter Golem is an absolute amazing card on Wukong. You know, he is an ADC after all. So I would recommend focusing Shatter Golem instead of actually putting in 4 points into that vitality to pick up Trapper, because like I said, I played those 2 matches and I went Trapper first and I found limited success, but going Shatter Golem first, I have found just much more success with that. So I definitely recommend that to y'all, and I think that might really help out with this build. Now, since we are on the Dusk side, we need to make sure we don't want to push up too much to get, you know, in that unsafe position. And, you know, it would be very easy for the enemy team to rotate over and take us out. You know, especially with having a Kalari in their jungle, you know, we definitely have to be aware of that. Although we do have some decent evade for a Kalari, we still don't want to just, you know, throw ourselves out there. So staying close to our tower and farming is just really key. This is also going to allow me to take advantage of healing towers, and you can see I've got decent sustain since picking up that aqua buff is much harder for me. You know, it's better just to stay under tower and really go for those last hits. As you can see, you know, I missed that one. Sometimes it's really hard to get those last hits on those siege minions because, you know, they do the burst damage is real, and so, you know, I try to time it right, but, you know, sometimes we miss it, but is what it is. I went ahead and hit level 5, and I've got enough farm to actually put on a power card, and this is huge. Getting my power spike earlier than the enemy Wukong, this is going to be very beneficial. Now, being the first one to safely put on a power spike is absolutely huge, and you can always check this by, I think I have it set to control, or caps lock, I mean, and you just simply hit caps lock and you can actually see what the enemy team has on. I know the enemy Wukong doesn't have any power cards on yet. Well, he's got that aggressor card, but you know, that's nothing. And we're going to go ahead and engage on him. Now, I am new to Wukong, or not new, but I haven't played him in a very long time. So, you know, I'm missing a few things here and there, but you know, hey, we're not doing too bad, and you can see the advantage of picking up that power card, being the first one to get that power card on. We're able to take him out fairly easy and remain fairly healthy at the same time. So it's absolutely huge getting that power card on first. And remember, just double check to see if they have power cards on. This can really determine if you're going to engage or if you need to play more passive. And you can see that simply putting that power card on and taking that Wukong out, we're able to get quite a bit of damage onto the enemy tower. And, you know, that makes up for all the damage that they were able to do to my tower because, you know, I was just farming at my tower. You see, we're actually beating them in, you know, the damage game, and that's absolutely huge. This is also going to allow me to back. We're going to pick up flame and, you know, just continue building power and agility. Now, one of Wukong's biggest assets or biggest strengths is he's absolutely a lane pushing monster, especially once he gets, you know, a little bit more fed. He can just push lanes like absolute crazy, and you can see in just a matter of seconds we're able to go back into the enemy tower and we're able to get quite a bit of damage off on it. And again, I'm switching my stance to that evasive stance, and this is going to allow me to, you know, get out safely. Now, I know Wukong is right behind that fog wall, so I'm going to run the opposite way, use that Nitroboost just to, you know, get away a little bit faster, and pick up black buff, maybe even pick up that outside jungle camp, and then get back to lane, because there is definitely going to be a counter push. Now, typically when I'm in the solo lane, I don't mess with those, you know, jungle camps because really, you know, I'm in my solo lane, but Wukong's just such a great lane pusher. It is very easy for him to actually take those camps out, and he can do it so quick. Definitely pick up those camps. If you're having to retreat because you're unsafe, take those camps out, guys. And, you know, that will just do nothing but improve your farm. And again, when you are going into a tower, if you ever see an enemy, turn and run, guys. Wukong has had a lot of nerfs since that original time when, you know, he was borderline godlike at lane pushing. So when you see enemies collapsing, get out. And, you know, we're able to take out that tower, even though the enemy Wukong was there. But, you know, we're not really worried about that. With our evasion, we're able to get out very easily. But if you do get collapsed on, make sure to get out, guys. Now, after we down that tower, we're going to head to that solo lane white camp, go ahead and take it out, and then get ready for that counter push. One thing that when you down a tower, guys, don't just run away and abandon your lane and just start rotating right away. You definitely need to stick around for that counter push because typically they are going to counter push it. They might even get a little rotation and really counter push hard. You know, you might have your jungler or the enemy jungler show up and, you know, it's a big counter push. So it's very important not to just completely abandon your lane. Definitely keep an eye on it. But it really doesn't matter if that duo lane falls at this point because we are starting to get out of that laning phase. Now, I am going to go ahead and back, throw on heavy hitter. This gives me a huge damage spike, and I'm much more fed than the enemy Wukong. But you can see our team, we have 3 people go down. So I'm going to go ahead and defend this mid lane. Now, I'm not worried about setting this lane or anything like that. I'm just going to go ahead and hard push it. I'm going to go ahead and check that Raptor, see if, you know, they're contesting Raptor at all, which they're not, which, you know, hey, that's great for us. Then I'm going to head back to my lane. Now that my team has spawned back in, I can get back to my lane and we can safely prevent all tower damage. And Kalari was even able to take down that T1 on that duo side. So really, you know, we did a good job for having 3 enemies go down. You know, we made the best out of a bad situation and it worked out perfect. I'm not worried about saving or slow farming, setting this lane, anything like that. I know the enemy Wukong is just going to shove this lane right back down. So I'm just going to do that to him. I want to get my farm, get out so I can make a rotation. Now, if you saw there, Gadget picked up purple buff, but Gideon was there to see she got purple buff, so we might not be able to make anything happen. but I can go ahead and push this mid lane, get it under tower, and maybe actually make something happen. And, you know, Gadget should be able to get a bomb on to that Gideon, so hopefully we can get some damage onto this mid lane tower. Now, sure enough, we're able to take this T1 out, and then we actually see Narbash coming in, and hey, we should take out Narbash. You know, the Narbash isn't all that tricky to deal with, and we go ahead and hit him with that stun, push him back, and we don't really have the team collapse that we need to take them out. So I'm going to split off from that, head back to my lane before Wukong can actually down my tower. Now, Kallari did a great job there, ulting in, preventing that tower from going down. I'm going to actually circle around and maybe help out with the kill. Kallari managed to absolutely destroy the enemy Wukong, but the enemy Kallari did ult over to our Kallari, so I'm going to head over there, show my presence. Hopefully our Kallari goes in Viz to get some vision, but she didn't quite do that. No problem. Since she was here, I know that the enemy Kallari's not real close, so I'm going to go ahead, force this lane, and this is actually going to allow my team to rotate or, you know, get pressure elsewhere, things like that. You know, just keeping this pressure up at this T2, this is going to force the enemy team to rotate over. And this is exactly what I want, guys. I want the enemy team to respond to me. That way, you know, my team's freed up to make some plays happen elsewhere, or even go for Fangtooth, pretty much anything like that. And you can see, simply by doing that, we had the enemy jungler head over there, we had the enemy Wukong head over there. You know, that's huge, having that presence over there for none other reason but just pushing a lane. And hey, that's Wukong's job, guys. Now, Wukong is absolutely amazing at pushing lanes, and with his evasion, guys, he's very tricky to deal with. So when you have the opportunity, when you down a hero, push that lane, alleviate some of that pressure. Now, I sneak up on this Gideon, you know, he wasn't paying attention. We're able to stun him, and guys, like I said, I don't play a whole lot of Wukong, but, you know, stunning people into walls where they don't go to the full extent, that's absolutely huge. And you could see we were able to do that. We stunned him against that wall there, and our clones are there, I'm there, we're just, you know, teeing off on him. And you could see he didn't throw his teleport quite right, you know, he kind of panicked it, and we're able to take him out, which, hey, you know, getting 2 kills, we're off to a slow start, but we're not doing too bad. Now, I clean up my lane, and then I see, hey, there's something going down in mid lane. You know, Gadget did get that purple, and if she wouldn't have got that, she probably would have gone down there. But we went ahead, head over there. We're going to, you know, start beating up some minions, making things happen. And you can see Wukong is here, Kallari's here, that Gideon's there. We don't need to be in that situation. We're going to go ahead and back up and really just kind of let that stay still. And with us taking out the ADC and the support, hey, it's time to pick out Fang. It's 14 minutes in, almost 15 minutes in. We haven't got Fang yet. It's time to pick it up. And since I do have Flame, we're going to get a secure onto Fang fairly easy. And guys, Flame is an absolute amazing card now. You know, it's always been a good card, but being able to put that on and secure Fangtooth, you know, you can even steal Fangtooth with it. I really don't know how much 600 damage is of health. I mean, you could see it took a pretty big chunk down, but if you get a 1,000-point flame, you can, I mean, that's a quarter health right there. So you can definitely use flame to secure objectives like Prime and Raptors, and it's absolutely huge. Now, I did pick up Shatter Golem, so I'm hitting hard now, guys, and we should be able to just start really tearing up these minions and just pushing lanes like crazy, and that's exactly what we're doing here. We're going to go ahead and get this lane pushing. Now, Wukong did show up, and I go to poke him a little bit, but really, we need to get out. We're in a very unsafe area. If Kallari rotated over or ulted to me, 2v1 fight, I'm not going to win that. So really, we can mess around and do a little poke, but for the most part, we need to get out of that situation. And sure enough, we get out. And with 2 of our enemies, or 2 of our allies going down, you know, now is not the time to be out of position, guys. And you can see our Kallari and our Gadget, man, I really wish they'd get out of that situation, but they keep going in. They're just chasing kills. Oh, they're bloodthirsty. And although Kallari did get a kill there, you know, our Gadget goes down, and really, it's we're getting these staggered deaths, which is very painful for us, especially since all we've taken out is a support. It's just really not worth it, and we really need to play the counter game right now. My lane is pushed up. I don't need to worry about my lane. Definitely need to worry about mid lane, and, you know, Kallari, she's trying to get out, but she's just not going to be able to. And, hey, that's unfortunate. You know, I really wish they weren't in that situation. You know, going into that fight that was over with, it staggered like that, it just caused our entire team to pretty much die, but they, instead of dying all at once, they died staggered, so everybody's coming in just, you know, a minute apart. And those are those type of staggered deaths that can really hurt. And you can see here, it's painful, guys. Now, our solo lane is pushed pretty good, and our duo lane, you know, we've got some presence there. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up Raptors. And with Flame, I wasn't too worried about it being stolen. So, hey, we got a good Raptor kill off of that. You know, that might have been a little bit of a risky move, but since we are able to solo it, we took it out no problem. We did get an awesome collapse on this Wukong with, you know, Gadget and our Wraith here. We're going to be able to take him out. Sure enough, you know, getting Wukong out of there, that's huge. Unfortunately, our Murdoch goes down. You know, they're just getting out of position, playing a little too aggressive in that duo lane, but hey, no problem. Hopefully with that presence, the amount of presence over there, maybe we can actually make something happen. You can see our Kallari's over there, Gadget's pushing mid, me and Wraith are pushing this solo lane, so hopefully, like I said, hopefully we can make something happen. Now, I don't know what I was thinking here, guys. You know, of course, there's a Gideon there, and he ults, and it's like, what am I doing? You know, I got tower aggro since all those minions went down and the tower ended up killing me. You know, sure, the Kallari hit me pretty hard, but it was really the tower that finished me off. I might have been able to get out, but, you know, hey, it's unfortunate. Our Wraith is just a little underfed at this point, you know, playing in that support role, and he's doing quite a bit of rotation. He's a little bit lower than he should be, but hey, we've got to make the best that we can. Now I'm just going to cut out that, you know, 40-second wait or whatever, you know, it's going to take a while, so I'm just going to cut that out. And we actually see our Kallari and the enemy Kallari getting into a fight here in the jungle, so we're kind of waiting for our Kallari to go invis, maybe we can make something happen. Wukong shows up with green, and guys, I'm way more fed than he is, and you can see I'm hitting pretty hard. We're able to take him out fairly easy, but we do get vision on Kallari. Kallari was able to take out Wraith, which, that's unfortunate, but she puts herself in a bad situation, and we're going to capitalize on that. We go ahead and get a stun on her, and, you know, we're doing a pretty good job of beating her up, but we're not quite able to secure that. Our Kallari used her ult to get that vision. We chased her down, but, you know, ended up getting that ult kill, which that's quite all right. You know, I don't, like I said, guys, I don't believe in kill stealing or anything like that. I think everything's kill secure, and using an ultimate to get a kill is always worth it. So, you know, hey, she's able to secure that kill, and that's great. From here, I'm going to ping attack Fangtooth because I want my team to attack Fangtooth while I go ahead and push into this T2. And hopefully we'll get one of these objectives pretty uncontested. Now, Narbash and Twin Blast head over, and I'm thinking, hey, you know, maybe I can get this. And then I see Wukong head over, and I'm like, hey, I'm just not going to risk it. We're able to dip out fairly easy. You know, Twin Blast did hurt quite a bit more than I thought he would. So we're going to dip out of that, and my team secures Fang. You know, keeping that pressure on that T2. You saw we had quite a bit rotation. You know, it was their entire team that was up, rotated over to deal with me, and my team was able to pick up that side objective completely unmolested, and that's exactly what we want. Those are the team plays that we need, especially being in a solo queue. Now, from here, I'm going to just kind of look around, and unfortunately, like I said, guys, I am in a solo queue, so I am not in comms with my team, and, you know, I did ping retreat a couple of times, but the pinging system, guys, the pinging system, I hope they fix this. But, you know, our team ended up getting caught out there. You know, they were definitely pushed up a little bit too far, and Kallari and Gadget go down. So, you know, hey, it's time to play safe. We're going to go ahead and stop mid from pushing. I'm going to go back to my solo lane, get it pushing in the right direction, and just kind of look around, see what I need to do, because I want to wait and make sure my team spawns back in before we really get into an engagement. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just shove my lane. You know, Wraith is pushed up pretty far. We've got Gadget spawning back in, so, you know, we did have some enemy presence in our duo lane, but, you know, now that the minions are caught up, you can see they're not going for that at this moment. So, you know, right now, the enemy team is just kind of in limbo. We don't really know what they're doing, and I go ahead and take down this T2, and then, again, guys, I split. Take down the T2, turn around, run away, because I don't want to deal with a collapse, and a collapse would be absolutely terrible at this point. I do head down to my team that was kind of getting rotated on, and we're able to, you know, prevent some of this from happening. We're able to get a great stun on Narbash. Fortunately, he stuns me, but hey, you know, we're doing work. I'm going to go ahead and dip out and then run back in from the top, you know, head down, try to make something happen. We get a double stun onto that Kallari, and we're able to take Kallari out as well. But being low, you know, I got to dip out again. And really, guys, when you're playing Wukong, you can't just go toe-to-toe with anybody unless you might have something like Sacred Alchemy or some Lifesteal, you know, the Vampiric Blade. But really, you just want to dip out. That you want to stay as safe as possible. Now, my team decided to stay in on that, which, you know, we had an even fight there. But since my team stayed in on that, we end up losing that, which that hurts. But I do have, you know, that Lifesteal gem, and you can see we're going to just take down this lane. I'm going to not worry about my mid lane near as much, because we still have the T1 up. We want to save T2s, and with them having 3 enemies up at the moment, you know, it's not worth dying over something like that, especially since I am low. So I'm just going to, you know, again, go to that solo, or go to that duo lane, get it pushing in the right direction, and then head to my solo lane. And, you know, just, I really want to get these things set in the right direction. Now, you can see Wukong was about to take down this T2. If we wouldn't have headed over here, it would have definitely gone down. And since he is pushed up, you know, now he's out of position, and we're going to very easily take him out with this 4-man rotation. So, or 3-man rotation. So, you know, hey, that's awesome. We're able to take him out, no problem at all. And this is going to allow me to push this lane like crazy. And you can see our Murdoch is in that duo lane, and he's got it pushing in the right direction. So, you know, even though we did all just die by me going and kind of cleaning up both those lanes, we prevented really there was no objectives taken, even though we were down 4 heroes. So, you know, really making that right call, pushing the lanes, or protecting the objectives you need to. That's absolutely huge. And when you are by yourself, when they have 3 enemies up and you're by yourself, don't even try to fight, guys. Just try to protect what you can. Now, we do head over to our mid lane and kind of collapse on it, and we're hoping to push it. But, you know, hey, it's not looking good, not with 1 minion in. Narbash heads in, and, you know, the Gideon ult followed by Narbash ult, you know, it's a bad situation. And, you know, it is what it is, guys. We definitely should have left. So, you know, we come off of a 4-man death right into a 3-man death, and we've kind of got to do the same thing. You know, protect these lanes as best we can. Now, we see, you know, the enemy team starts heading towards Raptor, and we know exactly what they're going to do. You know, hopefully Kallari can get in there and, you know, really kind of contest that Raptor. You know, it's pretty easy for Kallari to pick something like that up. Now, the enemy Narbash heads down, and so does their Gideon. We're able to get quite a bit of damage on Gideon, but it's not quite enough. And before I could get down there with my flame, they're able to take out Raptor. But, you know, hey, it's their first Raptor. 27 minutes in, they got a single Raptor. That's not a problem at all. Kallari does, you know, head in, hit me with that slow, but turn around, switch to that poke with the stun. We're able to stun her and just keep running. You know, if Kallari tried to challenge me right now, I could probably take her. You know, Kallari does hit pretty hard, but, you know, hey, I'm Wukong. I hit hard too. And again, we're going to get lanes pushing in the right direction. We're not really worried about setting them. We're just pushing them in the right direction so we can rotate elsewhere and try to make plays happen. Now, we are pushing back against the enemy team here, and you can see with that gadget ult, we end up knocking them out of the gadget ult, but the point of that was we wanted to stun them. You know, we wanted to get that stun, and they were about to be out of that ult anyway, so, hey, You know, that great job. We're able to push them out. Now, we are chasing this mid lane, and, you know, hey, there's really no reason to do that. I need to go back to that solo lane, take it out. You can see that wave is significant. It's definitely going to push against us, and I'll let my team chase off the enemies. You know, we do have 2 heroes down at this point, a support and an ADC, so now's the time we should be pushing lanes, getting those objectives, maybe going for Prime or something like that. We should not be chasing kills. Now from here, it's pretty standard stuff. You know, we're going to push our lanes. You know, one thing, I really should be setting lanes, but I always feel setting lanes is just such a pain with Wukong, because your clones kind of ruin the potential to set lanes, because, you know, they just do so much damage, and, you know, getting farm with Wukong is pretty big. But since I am at max build, there's really no need for me to continue to farm, but is what it is. Now, coming up is the play that really ends the game. The enemy team is picking up Fang, and, you know, we collapse on him. Wraith does a great job getting us invis. You know, Wukong, he steps away, he steps out. My team, you know, we've got a pretty big presence there. We're going to deal with them, and, you know, I'm able to stun that Gideon, and we're able to take Gideon out. Now, I do get bugged, and then, you know, I'm trying to get away from Twin. I was able to, you know, dip around that corner to avoid the shots, but I did take that stun. No problem, though. We're able to wrap that Twin kill up. And then, you know, from here, you know, this is huge, guys. This is an absolute huge play. I was going to back, but it's like, hey, we've got 4 of them down. Sure, I might get ulted by Kalari, but I'm just going to have to hope that he doesn't. And with my team pushing down that mid as hard as they are, I don't think he would. But, you know, just the risk I was going to take, I guess. And with Lifesteal, you can see we heal right back up. My team is making a huge push in that mid lane. I'm going to stay in the duo lane. Now, our solo lane is being pushed, but Wraith is about to come up, so I'm going to trust that he will go to that lane and deal with it himself. And, you know, we have an inhib, or we have a T2 and an inhib. That should stop those minion waves, even if they are pretty big. And with Wraith showing up, that's my hope anyways. This is a great opportunity to take down some inhibs, maybe even in the game, so I don't want to lose this, you know, potential life or game-changing event. And sure enough, we're able to take out 2 inhibs. We get a pretty decent wave onto the core, and with Murdoch hitting it this entire time, I do get stunned, but, you know, I'm on the core. I'm Wukong, baby, and I'm able to actually take it down. I probably would have died in another half second, but hey, we ended the game. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this Wukong guide. He is an awesome hero to play. He's so strong, guys. And in the right hands, if you practice with him, you can be amazing. Well, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy, show me some love. Leave me a comment. Think about subscribing. Join our Discord if you haven't done it. We've made some huge changes, and I really hope the changes help out with the community. Well, again, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.